This is Capital Games. I'm the Wiz.
And I'm Zero.
Zero. Today is the Weekly Dividend for Friday, February 17th, 2023. Zero, it was your turn to choose the game this week, and for some reason you wanted to test the old adage that is, everything is better in co-op. Because today we are playing Wolfenstein Youngblood, the 2019 co-op shooter that is from the Wolfenstein franchise. So, this didn't review very well, right?
No. For me, the inspiration was more something from one of my favorite charities, Awesome Games Done Quick, and the Awful Block, where they just intentionally play awful games. And I was just like, I kind of like the Awful Block stuff. So yeah, maybe we go towards the awful angle.
Yeah. Speaking of awful, I'm running at like 20 at like 20 frames a second here.
Oh God,
it's pretty bad. Like, I'm chugging pretty bad here.
Oof, Jesus.
I guess we'll see how this goes as we play. See if it gets a little bit better. But let me go to the settings real quick. Maybe I can. I'm on low, full screen adaptive. Let's turn that off. Let's see if that works. Okay, better. Got it. Okay. So,
awesome.
Why don't we get started with some of the news before we get to the news, Zero, you got to play a game that just came out this week. Won't you tell us what that game is?
Yeah, so EA had a trial for Wild Hearts, the EA Originals game that was made by Koei Tecmo. And interestingly enough, if you're a Xbox Game Pass Ultimate member, you get the basic version of EA Play, and that allows you to basically allows you to play up to 10 hours of a brand new game. And so I decided to try to check out Wild Hearts because I'm personally a big Monster Hunter fan. So
yeah.
So it was one of those things I was just like, yeah, I'd love to check it out, just see what it's all about. And man, on PC, that thing runs awful.
Oh yeah, I've heard. And it doesn't sound like it runs much better on console either, but you seem to have had a better experience with that, have you?
Yeah, so on Xbox Series X, it runs at 60 frames per second with HDR, and it looks absolutely incredible in 4K. So it isn't absolutely terrible or anything, but yeah, just on PC, holy cow, it is just outright awful. Just I just don't know how they allowed it to kind of exit production in that kind of a state.
Yeah.
But apparently, as of sometime today, Koei Tecmo has mentioned that they have found the reason why it runs completely terrible on PC, and the reason for that is, basically, for some reason, they completely messed up the optimization for PC, and the game runs on a single core on PC.
Ooh, that's
so. Yeah, just there's no modern day multi-threading or anything, and it was just one of those things that everyone was just kind of like, oh my god, just how in the world did you do something like that? Hold on, you'll need to stay here, and then I'll request for the code from the keypad.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so that was kind of what happened, and it was one of those things that just everyone was just kind of floored by it, going, how in the world did you guys just not think to just make sure that this thing runs properly? How how in the world do you miss an oversight like that? So, it was just one of those things that just kind of floored people. It was just like, wow, holy shit, guys.
Yeah, that's not great. But you got to play some of it. What did you think of the game that you were able to play?
As far as what I was able to play for a bit, I thought it was pretty cool. The combat seems to be pretty good. I do think the whole reliance on the kamakuri, which are the devices, is a little bit, I guess, for lack of a better way of putting it, it just seems hammy. Just that they just completely want you to just use the hell out of the kamakuri devices and everything, where you're just constantly using every single little device just to get the most damage out of the monsters and everything. Because like, in the first official boss that you take down, this giant rat that blooms flowers and stuff like that, like that's where they teach you how to use the box device that acts like a giant spring when you stack 3 of them on top of each other. And pretty much just, again, I mean, I get it. It's kind of one of the focal ways to do damage, but at the same time, it almost just seems kind of hammy. Just how much they just want you to use the kamakuri. So like, when you down the rat for the first time, the game reminds you, hey, you should be using the kamakuri, so you can do some critical damage. So just make sure that when the monsters are down, that you start laying down boxes so you can vault off of them, do some massive damage, and then when you do the massive damage, you know that it's a good idea to just sort of kind of just really get into just maximizing your damage where you can. And again, just they can run the game however they wish, but yeah, it just felt overly hammy, just how much they want you to really use the kamakuris. But again, maybe that's how I'm seeing it. Maybe people don't see it that way, but yeah, that was just kind of how it felt to me, that just they really wanted to make sure that you were using the kamakuris just constantly. And then when you get to some of the other bosses, again, just they end up kind of emphasizing the uses of the other kamakuris, like the second boss, which is like a giant treant-like creature. This treant-like creature will shoot stuff that ends up basically covering your character in sap, reducing their mobility. Mm-hmm. And one of the ways to restore your mobility is to essentially use the springboard item to basically get your character to bounce off. And when they bounce off, you end up being able to basically shake off some of the sap off of you. So again, just I get it. It's kind of one of those ways to get you into building the kamakuris a little more, but it just seems a little bit ham-fisted how much they want you to just really build things with the kamakuris.
I think that's a big
So that's that. But also, I know some reviews complained about this, but the multiplayer is limited to a 3-player lobby. Oh, I was gonna say the objective we need to go for is back towards where we were at the entrance.
Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Get connection and ready to go, sis.
There we go. Saved.
Okay. So we gotta. Whoa. Oh.
Oh God. Guess we'll have to bleed out. whatever.
Yo, what the hell? Yeah, this is fun.
Oh god.
I guess it's just gotta bleed out, huh?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well. Well, it probably doesn't help that you're starting in at level 0. I figured that they would have at least had you level up equivalent to my character or whatever, but whatever.
Yeah, okay.
But
well, I leveled
yeah.
up twice in that, so maybe I should just how do you get like
Okay,
my
let's see if we
level?
can find that resistance outpost. Got
What do I do here?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's been a while since I've remembered anything on this.
Well, I don't have any ability points to do anything right now, so it doesn't look like it matters so much.
Okay.
Can I do upgrades? No. Okay, so you like the gameplay, but you're not sure if the Katakuri thing is dynamic enough to make it interesting. Is that what I'm getting out of it?
Yeah, that's what I feel. I feel like it's just a little bit clumsily implemented. That it's just kind of a, hey, this is our thing. Just we'd really like it if you used our thing, and again, I can completely understand with them wanting to be super excited about just their new differentiator that makes their game a little bit more interesting and different than, say, Monster Hunter. I 100% get it. So it's not me sort of like poo-pooing the mechanic, going, "Oh God, gross." Who would ever want to do that or whatever? So yeah, definitely not that. But at the same time, just it just seems so ham-fisted that they're just like, we need you to really use the Kamakuris, and again, just maybe it's just me. I could be dead wrong on this. I don't know. I just think that maybe it could have been more cleanly implemented.
Okay.
So, but yeah, just who can really say?
Right. And you only got 10 hours to play the game as part of the demo that the EA Play gives you on that. The reviews have, aside from the fact that there have been a lot of technical problems with the game, the reviews have been kind of positive for the game, for the most part. But is your issue mostly that it seems like they just gave you a gimmick, but not gameplay around it to make it interesting? Is that what you're saying right now?
I think it's interesting. I think it could have just been a little bit more better implemented. Is, I guess, where my sort of issue with things is.
Okay, all right. So it's a $70 game. You talked about the technical issues with the game, so I guess if you really wanted to, would you purchase this game right now, or would you wait on a sale? What do you think about Wild Hearts as of right now?
I don't think it's a bad game. I do think that it could use a little bit more refinement. I know that Koei Tecmo has said that they are planning to be very, very committed to providing free updates to the game and everything. But as always, it's always free updates for now, and then of course we'll have to see what happens when things change, and if they decide to go hard in with the whole, hey, we've got some cool things we want to do. It's going to require us to go into season pass monetization and stuff like that. So yeah, just there's ultimately that, but at the same time, just I'm kind of curious on how things go, because I think I think the game does have some potential in the long term, but yeah, just I think there's a little bit of optimization that they could stand to do, but maybe that might take some time to figure out what the player community wants.
And they're stingy with ammo in this game. Jesus.
Yeah, they are.
I don't remember the other Wolfenstein games being that stingy.
No, definitely not.
Huh. Weird.
But
okay.
Yeah. There we go. But yeah, overall, just I think it's a fun enough game, and I'm definitely going to be curious in the future on how things go, because again, just I would love to see this maybe just kind of evolve further and everything, but maybe that's just me being optimistic or whatever.
Right. I mean, it does look interesting, and we talked about it a little bit on one of the episodes that shaking up the formula is not such a bad idea, but I don't think anyone was asking for it. And if what they're giving right now is technically a mess or isn't that big of a shakeup, I don't know what it's gonna mean later on down the road for this game when it comes to sales or for popularity and everything. And it might go the same route that Monster Hunter goes, where there are a bunch of free updates, and then they do a paid expansion. But that all matters if the sales are good, because this is not a game where, if it doesn't sell very well, we discuss it too, they'll just can the game. Oh, what's this? A tape?
Yeah, you can get like little lore tapes to drink up on the sweet lore and everything.
Oh, yay. Let me tell you all about the lore of Wolfenstein Youngblood. But, yeah, I mean, it looks interesting. I might check it out myself, but if you're telling me, like, really... Well, first off, the technical problems are not great. But if you're also saying, other than that, it's okay... I might hold off on that. So, I'm good.
Ultimately, I don't think it's a terrible game, but I think it just needs a little bit more refinement. And once the refinement happens, it might prove to be very, very interesting. So again, just that's my take on it. But just maybe things might prove differently. So, who knows? Just it's definitely going to be hard to say. Personally, I'm going to be very curious on it because, again, just I'm a weird masochist for these monster hunting kind of games.
Oh yeah, that's like me with roguelikes, essentially. So
yeah,
where are you killing these people? Because I don't know where you are.
Oh, I went down one of the alleyways.
Oh.
You're very close by. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you went down the way that we originally went to kill that sergeant.
Okay.
I'm covering you.
I remember this part.
There we go.
Shoot. There we go.
You're on fire.
Oh my god, these girls are annoying. Uh-oh. I'm getting tagged. Hey, I leveled up! I still don't know what that means.
Oh, that's why we got a drone.
Is the aiming on this off, or am I just terrible at this?
It's one of those things that, in order to get the aiming better, you have to skill up into like the aiming skills.
Oh,
it's a real PETA. So.
All right.
But yeah, so as said, just ultimately, I think I think Wild Hearts is a fun enough game. Does it need a little bit more love? Yeah, probably. Just I just think it's kind of interesting that EA wants to go really, really hard on this because they feel it's a quote unquote new genre, even though Monster Hunter's been around for fucking ever.
They call this a AAA release, which is what I think is the most surprising part about this, because as popular as Monster Hunter is, it's really popular because it's Monster Hunter. It's not that the genre itself is popular. So,
get away from that, dude. Let's go back the other way.
Okay, back.
Because that dude had a giant skull on him, which means he's a little bit too high for you.
Oh, okay. That's me.
Okay. Wanted to make sure because I was just like, I don't know what that is.
That thing is running around really erratically. It's me. Oh, okay. Okay, so why don't we get into some of the releases that came out this week that we did not talk about? Reviews came out for Like a Dragon Ishin. That's the RGG game that came out from Sega, from the developers of Yakuza and the new Like a Dragon series. And the reviews have been pretty positive. It's gotten an 82 on OpenCritic, and the reviews have been pretty solid. Basically, if you are a fan of the Yakuza games and you like the setting, you will like this game. Uh-oh, what happened to you?
You can double jump, so I'm up here on the rooftop. I think you went down low.
We're playing tactically. Well, I actually don't know what I'm doing, so can't be that tactical. I'm in a kitchen right now. Hey,
okay.
There you are.
Yeah, there we are. But yeah, this one I was surprised to see do as well as it did, mostly because of the fact that I know that the setting is super neat. It's right in between the Meiji Restoration era.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really a popular era of sorts. So yeah, that's why just I was kind of interested to see that it's kind of going as successful as it is, but I'm not going to be one to criticize success.
Yeah, but we talked about this during the new releases portion of this month. That I don't think people think too deeply about what era it is. It's just they like Japanese culture as it is. So that's the setting. I don't think is going to be an issue with critics. It's going to be what the sales are going to be like. But even then, I think it's going to do pretty well. It doesn't. I don't hear a lot of people who liked Judgment or liked the Yakuza games are saying, "Yeah, I think I might skip this." I think they're fairly excited by this release. So,
oh yeah.
And then Ishin is the one that's not the great one. I think isn't there one that is actually really good that they said that they were going to remake if this turns out well? I think I just got myself stuck. Oh, you can shoot the lock. Okay.
Yeah. No, it was not Ishin, but it was Kenzan, which Kenzan is another one that takes place in kind of feudal Japan. So again, yet another game that has a bit of a niche following, especially due to the subject matter. So yeah, just it was kind of interesting seeing Sega make that admission of, hey, we will likely think about just releasing Kenzan, but that's only if we end up seeing an audience with Ishin, and of course now you have Ishin doing quite well, especially with critic reviews, and generally it just seems that if the critic reviews are pretty good, then word of mouth will get around that regular regular Yakuza or Like a Dragon franchise players will end up buying the game. So definitely seems like a very good sign of things to come.
Right. And Yakuza, we should have checked the sales numbers from the previous games, but those games, I think, especially Zero, sold pretty well, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. The main games end up being pretty decent sellers, and but yeah, just I think my concern had ultimately been, wow, this is kind of niche subject matter. I'm not 100% sure that this is going to be a big seller as Sega wants it to be, but I'm kind of all the more glad for it. I'm gonna get my skill points for a bit.
Okay.
I'd say let's move on to the next game that came out this week that got some surprisingly good ratings as well too.
Yes, and that game is Octopath Traveler 2. I'm not entirely surprised that this got great ratings either, though. This is at an 86 on OpenCritic, and the reviews have been very positive. It's not a reinvention of the first game, but they did enough to it that made it better, is what it sounds like the reviews are for this game specifically. I played Octopath Traveler 1 and enjoyed it. I didn't beat it, though. That's going to be a theme for me for a lot of you guys when we talk about new games. I play games, but very rarely beat them. But this was a fun game to play. It had some issues, I think, story-wise, but other than that, great game, the first one. So I'm glad to hear that the second one is just as good on that one. So what were your thoughts on the word of mouth of Octopath Traveler?
Definitely glad to kind of see it, especially with the matter that these are a little bit on the niche side since they're sort of HD pixel remasters, and I know my thought was, I don't think this is going to be like one of the biggest selling things, or because it's a JRPG, some people are just going to go, ugh, God, this is so niche, this is not for me. Mm-hmm. So, again, just very glad to see it do as well as it does, because, again, just I mostly just expected this to be sort of relegated into the realm of just something considered a bit niche. But hey, just if this is doing well enough that it's getting rave critic reviews, then likely it's probably going to trickle down to just the mainstream audience that might be into JRPGs. So yeah, kind of glad to see it.
Okay. Right, and this I think will sell a lot better than the first one did, mainly because it's not just on Switch this time. It's also on PC and on PS4, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So it's gonna get more sales this go around. So that's good. On where are we going here?
We are going to rescue the civilians that are trapped.
Okay, so then
it looks like we'll be going a different path.
I am way too far away from you then.
Yeah. I'll run back to you to make sure that we're synchronized up so we don't get separated and possibly end up being too far to revive each other.
Okay.
Soup. Okay, there you are.
Double jumping in this game is kind of weird.
Yeah, it is. Okay, I see you. I'm behind you.
But, yeah, again, this is another game I was looking forward to that
when this is over,
I think will actually get some pretty damn good sales in the end. I mean, RPG fans are definitely excited for this, so they'll definitely snatch this up.
Yeah, RPG fans will definitely be eaten good with this release, especially since it's not going to be a staggered release where Nintendo gets the exclusive release on console for a bit. and especially with the fact that just it's coming out to pretty much damn near everything.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get to go back to the exit.
Okay.
But yeah, so again, just kind of happy to see that Octopath 2 is getting a wide release instead of just being limited to just, hey, Switch will get the release first for a little bit, and then everyone else can get in on the game later or something. So all the more happier to see this sort of thing. It does make me curious on when we'll see more news about the Dragon Quest 3 2D HD remake project, because I was a huge fan of Dragon Quest 3, so I would love to see more news about it, but yeah, just Square Enix really hasn't said anything since the initial announcement of, hey, here's what it's going to look like initially, so get excited for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in that's 3, right? It's
Yeah.
Dragon Quest 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will definitely be something I'm interested in too, because I bought. It's funny. I actually bought 3 on the Switch when it was released on the Switch, and I haven't even touched it yet. So I might have to wait until that remake comes out. So, are they gonna do anything different to it, or is it just a visual upgrade, or have not gotten any details on that?
They haven't really shared any details other than, hey, we're going for the HD, the 2D HD look, and basically kind of showed off that it was going to look something like something basically like Octopath.
I'm here, by the way.
Okay, cool.
Oh, it's a Travel Quest. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So now that we have gotten to the new games and the games that we've been playing, why don't we get right into the news? And this is news that just came down today. And that is the studio head and XCOM director at Firaxis are leaving the company as of today. Neither are showing ill will towards leaving. It seems like it's their time, essentially, according to, I believe it was the XCOM director who said that there seems to not be much ill will, and both 2K is saying that they look forward to what they do next. So this might just be that they're moving on to something different than it is a meaning of them getting fired, is what it looks like. But with that said, I mean, this is interesting because this means that there is, like, the next game that is going to be done by Firaxis is going to be Civilization. But when it comes to XCOM, what does this mean? I mean, is there going to be another person waiting in the wings to take the XCOM into the next generation, or is this now a dead franchise?
Yeah, that's what has me a bit curious myself, especially since, just, I know, there was the recent news that, gosh, what's it called? We had the recent news that, Midnight Suns didn't do too well, even though it was a critical darling. So there was that, and I know a lot of people had kind of gotten to wondering, okay, well, what does that mean in the long term for say, just XCOM games and Civilization games in general? Does that mean that they're in complete jeopardy now? You know, just what the hell is going on? And as someone who quite loves the Civilization games, I was kind of in the same position. I was just kind of like, oh, geez, just are we in for a situation where basically we're not going to see just another XCOM game for a while because they're going to reshuffle around the teams due to the lack of critical success that Midnight Sun saw, or are we looking at something else? So it really, really got me curious. And then, of course, now we get this news of, hey, we have 2 guys who who've been at the studio forever leaving, oh, by the way, there's also a new Civilization game in development. So it looks like development has begun, but I think the person who's leading has been with the studio for a good while. I'm not sure. I haven't quite looked into their background too hard, so I don't quite know. I don't quite know the person's history too well, so that's a bit of a blind spot for me. As much as I hate to concede to saying that.
Well, we're not going to know. They've already confirmed a new Civilization is being made right now, so we'll have to see what they do differently on that. But I will be curious as to what happens with XCOM, if anything does happen.
Yeah.
Oh, do I?
Yeah, you just had to confirm that we're on the next mission.
Yeah, I was staring at the map, so I couldn't see the white text. So... yeah. Okay, so keep going on the news. Saudi Arabia, okay, is buying more stakes in video game companies. And this week, they twice increased their stake in Nintendo, which has them at a stake of, I think it's close to 9% of owning Nintendo at this point. This had some people worrying if this is going to be a hostile takeover situation, which I'm going to, let's just dispel that right now. I doubt that's going to happen on this one, because the way that Saudi Arabia is, or I forget the name, I think it's the Savvy Fund. The way that this fund works is that they want to make as much money as possible, and the last thing you want to do is, oh boy, I'm getting shot at.
Whoop. That damn Panzerhund.
You said that a little too well.
I've had some friends who are big German nerds have to educate me on German pronunciation, so that's the only reason. But yeah, just if I remember Nintendo stock breakdowns correctly, I think Nintendo still has majority control of their stock, because a few years ago there was a big controversy about some Hong Kong some Hong Kong holding company back in the day was basically trying to force Nintendo to basically insert and shoehorn microtransactions into the dumbest places. Like, I think one of the quotes was, "Hey, just think of it. We could charge players like 99 cents to jump higher," or some dumb statement like that. And I remember people got quite incensed about it. They were just like, "Oh Jesus, no! Please, God, no! We don't need Nintendo doing that." And I'd often offer the counterpoint of, I don't really think Nintendo's going to do that. And then I believe it was soon after that little event happened, Nintendo ended up doing a huge stock buyback, if my memory is correct on that. Mm-hmm. And because that happened, pretty much Nintendo was just like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and get control back of our company, thanks.
Yeah, like this type of, when a hostile takeover happens, they tend to take more. I might be wrong on the details, but they take a much bigger chunk when it's going to be a hostile takeover. Let's look at an example of Elon Musk taking over Twitter. I mean, it looked like it was a hostile takeover because he took such a large amount. This is not that large of an amount, and they did it bit by bit, piece by piece. So, I think this is just the fund trying to diversify their portfolio a little more, get more money in different pots. And when they did that and they looked at Nintendo overperforming, they said, okay, then we'll just put more into Nintendo. And they did it with some other companies too. I don't have which ones that they did it with.
Yeah, I know the Saudis own a big chunk of SNK. So.
Yes, they have a controlling stake of SNK. If I think that's true. So, yeah.
Yeah, I believe it is a controlling stake of SNK. So I mean, I get why some people are legitimately concerned because I get it. It's a bit scary to think of just this the Saudis having control of things, but I mean at the same time, you have to look at the raw numbers, and I think that's what a lot of people fail to do. They fail to look at the raw numbers and go, hey, you know what? Actually, Saudi Arabia doesn't have majority control of Nintendo, so they can't really bend Nintendo to their will and say, hey, do a thing we want or else.
Yeah.
Especially with Nintendo being the one that holds all the controlling shares right now anyways. I mean, could that change in the future? Absolutely. But I don't think that's really a cause for concern at this moment.
Yeah, I don't think Saudi Arabia wants to get into game development. They just want to... What they want to do is they want to get their economy to be less reliant on the petrodollar. It is pretty... Or an oil, not the petrodollar, but an oil itself. And this is the best way to do that in this case. So you would diversify your... Because Saudi Arabia, I think, also does some stuff in film as well. I forgot what film franchises that they help produce. But they have their hands in other businesses too. So yeah, I don't see them getting into game development. Call me crazy. They might, but I don't think this is how they're gonna do it, because that would be a huge culture clash with something like Nintendo. Both in
oh yeah.
So those of you think it's gonna be a hostile takeover, yeah, it's okay. That's not gonna happen. But it'll be interesting. What this will do is get more money into Nintendo, and will hopefully mean more development on games you like. It is what I look at it as right now. Now, if they start buying up more and more stock as the time goes on, like let's say if they reach 15%. Then start worrying. But other than that, I think we're okay. Or you're okay on that.
Yeah, and again, I completely agree. Just, I know that there's been a lot of, oh my god, this isn't good. We need to worry. I've seen a lot of just people expressing that kind of an opinion, and again, just as I get the concern, but. I'm with you. I kind of have to respectfully disagree with that opinion, mostly because it's not a controlling stake in Nintendo. And again, like you said, the minute that that changes to be a controlling stake in Nintendo, yeah, sure, absolutely. You can start worrying and going, oh shit. They now have a controlling stake in Nintendo. Shit. This could mean that they decide to tell Nintendo how to make games. Oh god, yeah, sure. At that point, start worrying if they start to have a controlling stake in Nintendo. But yeah, just at this time, I don't really think that's going to be the concern right now, especially like you said, with your analysis on it, which was that the Saudis are just trying to get away from just being an oil-dependent economy right now, and they just want to try to diversify their funds into different things. And again, that's completely understandable, especially if you don't want your economy to be completely in a very, very vulnerable position. Say if I don't know, electric cars take off and all of a sudden just the oil economy just falls apart because of that. So yeah, just but yeah, we'll have to see where the Saudis go with it if they start dumping more money into the business of video games. And I know we mentioned that they have a controlling stake in SNK, so there's that. But yeah, just I'm with you. I don't really think the Saudis want to get into video game development. They just want to diversify their funds and their portfolio, and just, hey, video games look lucrative right now.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how lucrative they're going to be in, let's say, 5 or 10 years, but right now it seems like the smart play for a lot of places that want to diversify what they're doing.
Marked an enemy over there.
Uh-oh. Where are we going here?
To the hospital objective. I'm back in the main foyer. You were right by the window.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you should be able to see me. Yeah, there you go.
Hi there, Theus.
But yeah, that again, just I can understand where people are getting concerned about this, but yeah, I don't think right now is the time to panic because there's not really there's not really much reason to panic right now because the shares that they have are minuscule and don't really show a controlling interest.
Uh-oh, I'm burning. My biscuits are burning. Uh-oh. Yeah, I got a little too close.
There we go. Hey. But yeah, just I guess we can move on to the next story, which is Sonic Frontiers apparently greatly exceeded the expectations of Sega executives.
Which, I guess, isn't a surprise, because Sonic is one of those weird, is I think one of the weirder franchises where, unless it's absolutely broken, they seem to sell pretty well. The last game I remember bombing when it came to Sonic was Sonic Boom. And literally, it was broken. That's why it... Uh-oh.
Oh, goodness. Okay, I got the two commandants that were trying to blow us up. Oh, I see where those dudes are. Yeah, we just gotta do some creative platforming. There we go.
See, this game wouldn't be that bad if these characters weren't this annoying.
Yeah.
But the leveling stuff with this... Like that,
Okay,
right,
before we go to the next area, let me level up my stuff. Okay. But yeah, I think what was further interesting was the fact that if I remember the comments correctly, just they did express that they are willing to dump more money into just things for Sonic Frontiers. Oh God, avoid that guy. He's got a big old skull on him.
no way, Scully.
Yeah, if they've got a skull on him, that is bad news bears.
Okay, and we got a bunch of drones. Oh, okay.
Oh God. Gotcha. Alright, we've got armor boosting.
The Robo Schlaven is taking care of us. And that's the Droner Schneeven? Is that what they're called?
I think it was the Robo Soldat. So robot soldier, literally.
I'm getting really uncomfortable with you right now. Like, really, you're too good at that. Is there something I need to know about you?
No, just I have a lot of friends who were very, very enthusiastic German language students.
Oh yeah? Really? You know who's also very enthusiastic about Germany? No,
we are so not going there.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm not even joking around with that. Oh shit.
Oh, nice, knifed him in the face. Yay!
Bloody guts! Okay, let's see.
But yeah, so I thought it was interesting that they have mentioned that they're going to be dumping more money into developing DLC into Sonic Frontiers, and that basically the enthusiasm behind this game has potentially opened up doors to to basically put more enthusiastic funding into mainline Sonic games. Which, again, just if you were to ask starved out Sonic fans if we would ever see like a good mainline Sonic game, they would have laughed their asses off. They would have been like, no, not after how Sega's treated the games lately. So yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen.
Yeah, but Sonic fans think most of the Sonic games are good, so they don't know what really good is. So let's be fair here. Because we were like, oh, I didn't. Sonic fans didn't know they're gonna get a good game. They don't know what a good game is. They play Sonic like these poor souls, you know. I can't insult them because I feel bad for them. Like they're like a sick person. Like it's a sick person I don't like, you know. Like I could insult him, but he's sick, so why would I?
Yeah, I was gonna say insert the Simpsons meme. Stop! He's already dead.
Yeah. Wait, I'm getting shot at. Why? Oh, that was a soldier.
Alright, there we go.
Stop.
Fucking ace this! You're on fire!
Oh my god, shut up.
There we go.
Okay.
Alright. But yeah, so definitely interesting to see that they're going to be doing some more DLC and everything. And again, just as I mentioned with my take on playing Sonic Generations, or excuse me, Sonic Frontiers.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty good game, especially if you're a big fan of the original Sonic Adventure. It brings to mind a lot of that. So if you liked Sonic Adventures back in the day, then you're probably going to have a lot of fun with this game in general. So
they're speaking German.
Yep.
Girls, the Nazis have scheduled a meeting at a place near your location. Go to the meeting room and put a microphone on
Okay,
the inside
so
we can gather some
let us
valuable
move
intel.
on to the next
Good luck.
story. Not that anyone cared, but Ubisoft will attend E3 if it happens, according to them. Yeah, this was a weird story because I don't think anybody was doubting that it wasn't going to happen, or was I wrong on that?
It's kind of weird because the way it sounds like was that somebody at Ubisoft had some claim that they had some insider information that E3 wasn't going to happen, and they had their reasons for that mention. And it's been interesting because it has mostly been clashing with just the info that hey, E3 is going to happen. And the ESA making their big stand, going, hey, you know, we're going to make sure that this is one of the biggest E3s in the longest while. So you know, just everyone should be excited because this is going to be one of the grand moments where we get back to just E3 and it's going to be an exciting time. So it's kind of one of those things that flew in the face of just what has been publicly disclosed.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was just kind of weird for them to just kind of say, hey, we have reason to believe it's not happening, when that clearly has not been the case. And especially with the ESA having to really be clear about what is and isn't happening, because well, it's kind of in their interest to make sure that, you know, they've got vendors who are interested in attending and everything. Because yeah, nothing more agonizing than reserving the venue, reserving just a whole bunch of other logistical details, only to then sort of only to kind of tell your booth attendees and companies who have decided to go ahead and rent out booth space. Hey, actually, psych, it's not happening. You know, just sorry. Just we thought it was going to be a thing, and it's just not going to be a thing.
Yeah. But I will say this though, in regards to Ubisoft, this makes them sound really out of touch with the rest of the industry right now. And
oh, absolutely.
That is the last thing they need. I mean, they've had... Oh, what's this? They've had so many issues with keeping staff and keeping them happy. They've been losing people constantly. They've been canceling... They've also... Oh, whoops, sorry. They've also
you're good.
They've also been canceling a lot of games, so that's not good. I mean... And then there's... And this is a small thing, don't get me wrong. But at this point, like, if I was ESA, or if I was, like, the rest of the industry hearing that, going, of course it's happening. What are you talking about? You would have to wonder what is going on over at Ubisoft right now that is making them look this silly.
Keep it up, sis. You're a goddamn
Oh god, you got guys behind you.
Take that, flamer soldierin'.
But yeah, I definitely agree. It was just kind of one of those things that was just like, wow, what the hell, Ubisoft? You guys just seem like you were completely out of touch with everything going on right now.
Oh, ow, what the hell? What the hell's shooting at me?
Drones, I think.
Alright, here we go.
Nice.
Oh, we got another one.
But yeah, kind of weird for Ubisoft to sort of throw this down and go, hey guys, it's not happening, so, you know, just, here's the thing.
It's like it's either shade, or it's like they had no idea what they're talking about. And either one is pretty damn stupid at this point. Because the ESA is supposed to be your legal arm at this point. So, well, legal arm for the entire industry. And the last thing you want is to be one of the big companies to go, oh, that thing? Is that still going on? Oh, that's rich. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it was one of those things that just kind of baffled me. I was just like, Jesus, guys. Don't act like you're speaking for the ESA. That's not a good look, and I'm sure the ESA is none too happy with that either.
Yeah. Can't travel with enemies nearby?
Oh god, we have to destroy that drone. Ugh. Okay.
Hey,
sure,
drone.
game, sure.
Or is it drone? No.
Probably just drone, but yeah.
Those
so
crazy Germans.
Can't Damn it,
do
game.
Okay. Alright, what else?
What else is skulking around?
Maybe on the other side.
Yep. Oh. Yeah, drone level 2. There we go. I blew it up, so we should be good to go. Next story, Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal are expected to make 5 AAA games by 2028.
Yeah, not a surprise on this one. When they bought Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, I think we both said the first thing they should do is just basically say, we're making games. Like, we're freaking making games. And this is the result. They are they're getting their purchase, Embracer Group, and basically utilizing what they have and making games from those studios. The question is, what are those games? I'm gonna bet one of them is gonna be a Soul Reaver sequel. Would that be within the realm of possibility?
Yeah, because I think it was the Crystal Dynamics social media team after the Embracer purchase had made sort of an allusion of, hey, what games would you like to see? And I think one of the things that a bunch of people jumped on, they're like, Soul Reaver, Soul Reaver, Soul Reaver. And everyone just sort of went mad with it. And give me a sec, I'm going to put my skill points into stuff.
Yeah,
but yeah.
Right now I'm doing the same with my weapons.
But yeah, that was the one thing that I think a lot of people ended up just kind of clamoring about. They were just like, yes, more Soul Reaver. Yes, I need it. So I think that's likely going to be one of the things we'll see. But yeah just I know as far as Tomb Raider goes, there is a Tomb Raider game being worked on in cooperation with Amazon, doing some funding for it, I think.
Yes.
So that's something. I don't know if it's going to be a big budget game or not. It's going to be really, really hard to tell.
There were talks that Amazon was going to try and buy the rights to it, which I thought was kind of weird, but that seems to have died down at this point. Okay. I'm ready when you are, sis. Hello. But yeah, this is not a surprise. But the question is Embracer Group going to be more careful with the money that they spend? Or are they going to go and spend gobs and gobs of money and have it more disasters like the Saints Row reboot? Because to me, and I know this is hindsight's 2020 and everything, but even before it was released, the reboot was a bad idea. Like, you strip the complete identity out of Saints Row to basically cater to a crowd that did not like Saints Row. Are they going to be smart about this? Is my example. Is my question.
Yeah, and that's a very, very good question to ask as well too, because it's kind of funny that they were trying to win back the Grand Theft Auto audience, because I mean, Grand Theft Auto is interesting, in the fact that just it kind of pokes fun in a modern satire sort of way on things, but at the same time, just it was just one of those things that a lot of people love the silliness that was Saints Row. So
Where are you, Soph? I need assistance.
I'm on my way.
That's okay.
Oh God. Gotcha.
Die, you bad men, die.
Keep going, Soph. Slaughter those pigs.
Oh, and middle mouse button to use your melee option, which is typically a throwable.
You don't know me at all. I'm playing with a controller.
Oh, shit.
Ow!
I want to say it's one of the control stick buttons, like maybe right stick. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into
What, the melee?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what that is. But now I got the laser guy.
Oh shit.
Uh-oh. I'm gonna try and get there, but laser guy here is aggroing on me. So try and stay. Never
Up on the
mind.
horse, baby. Let's go.
Never
Okay,
mind.
we're both bleeding out? Okay. That's fine, whatever. I'm back up, so...
Oh, I shot you.
Okay, tactics up, so... Both of us have armor now. Okay, there we go. Sweet, awesome. But yeah, just yeah, Crystal Dynamics has a large catalog of stuff, and same for Eidos Montreal. So definitely curious to see what all is potentially up for grabs with Embracer saying, hey, we really want to leverage these dev teams.
Yeah. Oh boy. Take that, Commander. There you go.
There's
Killed the
Nazi
commander.
interrogator, Soph.
Nice.
All by myself.
Yay!
I'm the Nazi killer. Let's see.
Nope, we gotta exit the mission, I guess.
Can never do what we want.
This next story is a bit kind of interesting because I guess metrics have been finally revealed, but apparently Multiversus had their player count drop by a whopping 99%.
Now, this is specifically on Steam, but the
Yeah.
reason why we're saying it's from Steam because we don't have any other metrics on the other consoles. But even with that said, that's a huge drop. But that's also not a surprising one because when the most that game was talked about was when it was released. And for about a month after. Like, that was the most I heard about it. After that, talk about it dropped like a rock. And
Yeah, and then there was the controversy that the developers felt that people were burning through the game too quickly, so they decided to increase the experience table
did that.
and make the grind much longer, and that angered a lot of players. And in my mind, I was just like, why on earth would you do that? Just it's just like, if you guys have been concerned about, just the state of people burning through the game quickly to level up perks and stuff, that's kind of your own fault, because the way that they designed the game, unfortunately, it's all about just crunching until you get your character level 15, get all the perk trees unlocked and everything. And in my mind, that was just kind of my thought on it. I was just like, you guys don't have anyone to blame but yourselves.
Mm-hmm.
You guys made things this way. Just if you didn't want people to burn through your game and rush through to get to level 15 as fast as humanly possible, that's your fault. That's just, there's really no other way to blame it. Just, it's kind of on you guys because of the fact that you guys made the game to the point that that people have to make sure to burn through the levels as quick as possible until they hit level 15, and then basically get their character completely kitted out with all the perks open and everything. So just that's just really kind of where I saw it. It was just like, I get it. You guys really wanted people to take their time, play the game, learn the mechanics, and all that other good stuff. But again, just you guys really set up the game in a way that has essentially just caused people to have to rush through the game just to get everything unlocked, because if they don't have it unlocked, then likely they'll get complaints from whoever their partner is if they're doing duo lobbies, and maybe getting clowned on by other people if they're playing 1v1s or something like that, going, oh god, you're playing this character, you don't have anything unlocked, fucking loser. So yeah, in my opinion, I think that's where just, in my opinion, there's no one to blame but themselves on this one. And just, again, I think when that happened, a lot of people ended up just saying, you know what, fuck this, I quit. I'm not gonna play this game anymore. Just fuck this, I quit. I don't want to play this anymore. This is not a fun thing to play, especially now. I can't get my friends into it because now all my friends are probably like, oh, gross. They increase the experience to level up. Fuck that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to spend more time leveling compared to when you leveled up, and and it wasn't that bad to level up. Yeah, fuck this. I'm not going to play the game anymore. Because that was kind of the chatter I was seeing in some of the fighting game communities, going, yeah, hey, thanks Player First Games. I was trying to convince my friends to play, and they were almost ready to play, and then you decide to turn around and increase the amount of experience to get to level 15. Fuck that. I'm not going to be able to convince my friends to play this anymore. Yeah, you lost a potential to grow your player base. Maybe think about, retuning the rewards or something. And that was one suggestion the community had. Hey, if you're going to increase the experience required, why not give more rewards to get players on that treadmill to say, oh shit, I'm gonna unlock more costumes. I'm gonna, maybe get some more free-to-play currency to unlock more characters and get in the grind. Okay, sweet, awesome, sounds great. I want more of this. And yeah, just all those sort of principles just went completely into the garbage can. And it was just like, yeah, just we know players are upset, but it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. And I'm just like, guys, you had a good thing. You had a good thing.
And I think what a lot of these free-to-play live service games are going to have to start realizing is you're going to need more than the main gameplay mechanic to keep people in. I've been playing Honkai Impact 3rd for some ungodly reason, and they provide not just the main thing to do, which is the character action fighting game, but they actually have other things to look forward to as time goes on to keep things fresh and interesting. I have not heard anything that Multiverses is doing to keep things fresh. So when you do have those bad moments and those controversies, people might still play it because you have other things to look forward to.
Yeah, and I agree. Just you have to give players incentive, and punishing the player base just because they're playing too fast is just one of the dumbest things to do, in my opinion. And hell, I think even Masahiro Sakurai, the guy behind the Smash Brothers games, even he said, just he would rather buff everything up instead of nerf. And this is just kind of an example of them doing the exact thing that he would advocate against, which is nerfing the experience tables in favor of just hoping that just people will play more, and that's not how you win people over.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting that what happens now with Multiverses, if they have to rejigger or they have to retool the game, or if this is going to be enough for them to be sustainable, or if they end up shutting down in a couple of years because they lost all that goodwill. So we'll see what happens. But one thing is for sure on my end. I think they're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to put more into the game before I think it gets more people in there.
Yeah. And dear God, game, just, are you telling me to exit now? What the shit?
Exit the entire game?
Well, exit the zone. Because I chose the mission, it was just like, hey, the mission is in this zone. I was like, okay, sweet, let me go do it. And then it's just like, oh, hey, by the way, exit. I'm just like, oh, God, you've got to be kidding me. Come on, game. Get it together. Whatever.
Huh.
But, yeah, just, best of luck to player first games. I mean, they've got a hard task ahead, but, just... Oh, never mind. It's an exit in another part of the map. Okay, that's what it is.
Okay.
God damn it, game.
Yeah, the map markers aren't that great in this.
No.
Are we going back to where we were?
I'm trying to see if there's another exit over here or something.
There's a box. The box. The box!
I must have what's in the box. But yeah, just oh, that's what it is. Huh, there's a sewer down here. Okay.
So let's get into the next story. Microsoft is set. Oh, where are you?
Down the sewer.
Get the sewers. How'd you get?
Yeah, there's a manhole that's open.
Oh. Oh, manhole. I thought you were talking about something else. So, news is that Microsoft is set to defend their acquisition. in front of the EU next week. Not much more to it other than that. But if it's getting to that point, I would expect in the next month or so we should hear more about decisions and what's going on with the merger at that point. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think one of the more interesting points that has been brought up is that they are having to, with them having to provide a defense on just the merger and everything is, I think they had just made a mention recently that they feel that Xbox Game Pass has some metrics that shows that it is cannibalizing sales, which is a bit interesting to hear, especially considering the fact that we've generally heard a lot of stories of, hey, Game Pass is great for developers because that means they get their money right away, and because they get their money right away, it helps small developers in the fact that they don't have to worry about development, and it's all good, and of course that's what we've generally heard about Game Pass, that it's been a good thing for smaller developers, and we should be excited for it and everything. So just there we are. But now we're hearing that the narrative has changed. That hey, it's actually bleeding them money. It's kind of like, okay, well, kind of an interesting sort of shift in the narrative, but hey, if that's what the numbers say, the numbers, I guess, don't lie.
What happened?
There was a spot of poison gas.
Oh, it's got that in this game too. All right. Oh, water.
Okay, first to the poisoning machines destroyed.
Okay, cool, awesome.
Alright,
So yeah, we just got to be careful when we open the valves. It'll open up some poison gas, but you have to kind of go to the back of the valve, and then there's like a little poison gas capsule that ends up.
Oh crap!
That ends
what the
up.
hell?
Oh god. Yeah.
Keep swallowing their Nazis like there's no goddamn tomorrow.
I'm trying to get there.
I'm going to you.
Gotcha. And I'm dead.
Nice. Oh. I'll bleed out so I can revive you. Okay, there we go. But yeah, just I do think it's interesting that they're going with the hey, Xbox Game Pass is actually cannibalizing game sales angle now. But hey, just it'll be curious to see if it ends up working or not, because I know some people have some people have said, oh, this is just Microsoft being underhanded. This is them, crying, oh, please, woe is me, woe is me. And yeah, sure, that's a fair point too.
Right. On both ends. They're both being underhanded to a certain extent. With Sony crying about exclusivity and Microsoft trying to downplay their Game Pass thing. So, yeah.
Oh, God.
But this is where it gets down to the nitty-gritty at this point. So,
yep.
We should be my guess is after this, in 2 months, we should hear something. That'd be interesting if it happened, if we start to hear things during E3, like around E3 time. Then things will get real interesting.
Yeah, I'll be curious as well too. This will be something I'll probably end up watching the news wires for, because yeah, just I'll be extremely curious on how this one pans out, because I know, and again, I get it. Just there's some people who are touting doom and gloom and going, oh god, this is the end of the gaming industry as we know it, and it's just like, yeah, that's fair too, but just you've also got some people who are kind of seeing it as a win for Sony, because just, hey, if Sony blocks this deal, then it's nothing but good things on the way up. And
I don't know
of
about
course
that.
of course, just the counterpoint that I have to remind people is you have to actually read the contract, and the contract says that if Microsoft is the resultant party that ends up busting the deal, then Activision Blizzard gets money out of it. If Activision Blizzard is determined as the resultant party that blows everything up, then in that case you end up giving Microsoft a big fat stack of money. So there are no winners. Yeah, sure, the consumers are losers in the end of this, but just at the same time, you have to realize that with now Sony burning the bridge, that hey, we because before it used to be they'd express their love of just the partnership that they've got with Microsoft, and now they're burning that bridge and going, oh yeah, hey, this is why it all stinks. And then of course, just what's it called? Bobby Kotick ended up saying something to the tune of hey, Sony's at fault with this whole thing, and throwing Sony under the bridge, which that's something I never expected to happen in any timeline.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be a nasty sordid affair.
Yeah. It's also brinksmanship on Kotick, because when you have that out there and these regulation boards are still trying to make decisions, that news is going to pop up. Oh, sorry. That news is going to pop up, and you want to get those words out there to, I guess, seed the doubt as much as possible. Now, some of you are going to be like, well, these regulation boards are not going to care what he says on the newspapers and on the websites. Why does that matter? It's like, well, because it kind of does. Because if you're getting mindshare out there that this is really Sony playing a game here, I mean, if you have that seed of doubt in there, it's not a bad thing in the end for him on that. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. So again, I mean, this is not us saying, hey, Microsoft should just steamroll everything and just get the merger anyways. That's definitely not our opinion on the matter, which I know we've had some friends on my Discord server who have been like, oh god, you're saying Microsoft should win? Oh, you must be an idiot. It's just like, yeah, there's a bit of nuance to that. We're not saying that. So
no, I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that I think Microsoft should win. I just think that if they don't get it, that's awfully interesting with how many acquisitions have gone through in the past, I don't know, 20 years. So what would make this so different than, let's say, Google buying up everything that they've bought up, or along those lines? What makes this so dangerous is my question on that. So.
Yep.
And with some news going around that some regulators from the ESA are stepping down because they feel that it's becoming too. What was the word that they used? It was becoming too ideologically driven. Like that is that's interesting to say the least. Oh.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say I'm finally out, so we can run out of here.
Crap.
I'm back and ready to fight!
There we go. You're back up. There we go. Cool.
All right, and our last story for the Weekly Dividend it is kind of for me, I guess, because I'm into sports games, and Zero not so much. But we've talked about in the past where EA is losing their rights to the FIFA brand. So and when we talked about the Zero, I made the assumption that they were going to have to get a lot of these leagues to be in the game and sign them up for exclusive licenses, which is what they've been doing. I believe they just got Serie A a few months ago. Now they're looking to closing a deal with the Premier League, which is the most popular of the soccer leagues, for 500 million euros, it looks like. So it looks like they are getting close to getting that license, which is interesting because they're doing this without the FIFA brand. So what does this mean for the FIFA brand at this point?
Yeah, it's a bit curious to see, especially since I know there were a lot of people who were just like, oh, without the FIFA branding, they're toast. They're dead in the water. There's no way that they can make headway. And I was kind of the mind of I disagree, because I think instead of having to deal with FIFA, EA smartly has been working with the leagues to purchase the likenesses and rights to each of the leagues and their players.
Right.
And it looks like this is more kind of a continuation of that.
Yeah, and I think when it came to people thinking about how EA was screwed with this, is that they were thinking along the lines of what happened with the MLB and NFL when it came to exclusivity rights. Soccer is very different. Soccer has many different leagues that they run, and FIFA is just the governing body that deals with all those leagues. That's all FIFA is at this point. They're important to a certain extent, but they're not the most important thing. So, for example, there are some soccer games that have been released that dealt mainly with Premier League and with Serie A and with Bundesliga when they only had those licenses. So it's not that strange that they were able to get these leagues on there. So I think FIFA just made it easier for them, and FIFA overplayed their hand and their importance on this. And you know what? This may actually cost EA a little more than actually sticking with FIFA. But in the end, I mean, I think this is going to be a bad thing for FIFA, because they still have to find another publisher to make those games. And how are they going to do that when it's possible that they don't have the exclusive rights to these leagues? So it'll be interesting to see what happens as time moves on with EAFC, I think is what it's called. That they're doing.
Yeah, and I think this is kind of like more of a demonstration that EA played this masterfully. Just with working with getting the rights for the leagues and the player likenesses way before FIFA did. And again, like you mentioned, FIFA way overplayed their hand. They were just like, oh well, no one's gonna care because you guys don't have the FIFA rights. Who's gonna fucking care? It's just like, well, turns out as long as you have the players in the league likenesses, no one fucking cares.
Yeah, exactly. As long as you have the players and the teams, you're good. That you don't have to worry about that. And by getting the leagues, they were able to make that work. No, that's another shared thing. Okay, never mind. Okay, I mean, do you have more that you want to talk about here, Zero?
I think it'll be interesting to see when EA finally produces their soccer game or international football game, depending on where you're from.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how this ends up coming down to brass tacks when they finally they finally end up releasing their new football game, because I know there's been a lot of speculation of, I don't think it's going to go anywhere because they don't have the FIFA rights, and just no one's gonna care, because everyone's gonna go, oh, the hell is this? Oh, some knockoff football game? Who the fuck cares? And I don't think it's going to pan out like that, especially since EA has done their due diligence to secure the likenesses and the rights of the players, and that ends up paying off in the long-term dividends, in my opinion.
And let's not also forget here that EA has the engine to the game, so as long as the game plays well too, it's still going to be the FIFA gameplay that everyone likes and plays. So I think, like I said, I think that the FIFA just overplayed their hand here and thought they had more power than they thought they did. And they're probably going to pay for it at this point. I'm just going to be curious to see what happens in, let's say, another couple of years, where if the EAFC game does very well, if FIFA doesn't turn around and go, hey, let's make it a little more equitable for you, I guess. We'll see what happens there. All right, so any other stories that you want to talk about, Zero?
I think that covers it for all the small stories this week.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, that is it. That is, and thank God, because I do not want to play more of this game. That is it for the Weekly Dividend for this week. Tune in next time when we talk about the stories that are happening in the gaming industry. I am The Wiz.
And I'm Zero.
And we'll talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you for listening to this podcast segment. The Capital Games podcast is done every week, and we post it on all your favorite podcast apps, as well as segments on YouTube. If you want to listen to another segment, you can listen to a new one right there on the screen. We also do a movie podcast called the Capital Games Movie Club. If you'd like, you can go ahead and click on that and see all the movies that we have reviewed from that point. Thank you for listening, and we hope to hear from you soon.